Good afternoon. Welcome to Two Local Radio. Today I have the phenomenal, badass band out of Knoxville, Tennessee. They're a new metal-based band. They're called Minor 9. And they really are rocking a lot of shows. And why don't you all introduce yourselves?
Hey, this is Rex, the lead singer of Minor 9.
Hey, bud, it's Rob, guitar player.
All right, and the thing that I like about y'all is, I've been playing your music a long time, and for some reason, you just touch bass in a different way. Like, for instance, you talk about real life things where normal metal, is, talking about, I hate everything and whatnot. What makes your style different?
Real life is scarier, man. Real life shit is way scarier than fairy tales. When you see shit like this go down, like people addicted to drugs and shit, and your whole fucking county's falling apart, over stuff like that. You can't help but have something to say about it. You know what I mean? You can't, you don't want your fucking kids to grow up where you grew up because it's just become a horrible place. So a lot of the music really just touches on, just kind of making people aware of what's around them.
So
Open your eyes.
All right. So when did you come up with the concept of Minor 9, and why Minor 9 out of all names out there?
Well, that's actually a musical term.
We were looking for a band name. It was hard to find, and in one of the songs, I do a minor ninth chord, and Rob, he's a fucking genius on guitar, so I asked him, what the hell is this chord I'm playing? And he said it's a minor ninth, and I was like, hell, that's kind of cool, like, let's go with that, and it wasn't...
About 60 names on a list, going through, looking online for this, looking for that, and every one of them had either somebody on it or somebody had already taken it, so yeah, it was available, and it sounded kind of cool at the time, so that's why we used it.
Okay, and what if you could put your band in a nutshell, as far as what you're about? What would you tell people that have never heard your music before?
Well, we got stories to tell, and most of them are true, and that's the thing. That's like Rex was saying, true life is scary,
It's kind of hard to do in a nutshell because there's so many we all over the place as far as genre. It's really never held us in any way whatsoever. If a song comes out and it's a little softer and cleaner and more melodic, then that's what it is. If one comes out and it's just fucking thrash and heavy, that's what it is, and it's really, we're not following any guidelines, for sure.
And the thing...
outside the lines.
Okay. And the thing about it is, when you see the video, Unite, you see the, not only metal detectors, but you have like a full body, scan, like they don't trust anybody.
Right. The video, I've got to give total credit to our bass player, man. He sat down in a couple days, made that, and when I seen it, it blew my mind. The guy's just really talented. He really took it to the next level. I never imagined a video being that emotional, that powerful, but, man, he came through with flying colors on that one.
Yeah, it just, between your two songs, and that's not even, your Fading Light, but just in Stabbed and Unite alone, those two songs are, so, heartfelt and, really touched deep. And like you said, life is scary. It's kind of the reason why I don't like to watch horror movies, because I've seen, real life just as bad. But, I mean, it is what it is. Where do you get your, your inspiration behind your music?
Well, our band, Rob, he's 59 years old, and aren't you 59?
Yeah.
And, I'm 28, the bass player's 36, I think, 34, 36, and the drummer's just turned 15. So we've got such a broad range of influences that it's really I mean, I like what I listen to is Sabbath and Pantera. You know, but every one of us has got something different in our CD player. Like that, I guarantee you it's Rush or Pink Floyd. If you go over to Rob's, he's listening to some Joe Satriani, I guarantee it. Some Yngwie, you know, and Matt's probably got Slipknot on his, or, you know, or something new. Matt's always on the cutting edge, and we're always looking to the past, you know, so it's kind of cool to have all of it together. It makes for a unique band.
What I love, though, is y'all don't sound like nobody. That's what I like. I mean, I listen to bands all the time and interview bands all the time, and a lot of them, you know, sound like everybody else.
Yeah, I can see that. It's hard to pull away from your influences once you've learned so much from them, you know. And that's one thing that I'm really grateful for, is that we got to find our own voice and make our own sound as a group. That's yeah. And I think a lot of that is, you know, I think a lot of that has to roll around with, you know, a lot of people in bands are all the same age, got the same influences, you know, they're all kind of on the same page, whereas we're really spread out and we grind a lot, you know, when we're creating music. You know, everybody's got a different idea, wants to go in kind of a different direction, so it's, I don't know, it ends up being really unique because it's got to go through a lot of shit before it can get there, you know.
Exactly. So basically, it's just it starts out as one thing, and you put all your influence into it, and it becomes a minor nine, a masterpiece.
There you go.
Yeah, a masterpiece.
Okay.
So, what are you all currently working on?
Currently working on?
Yeah, I mean, I know you have a. Why don't you announce, you know, your next show that's coming up, and why don't you talk a little bit about? I believe you played at the World's Fair Park, correct?
Yes, there in Knoxville we did.
And what was that like?
That was a pretty cool show. We got to play with Omega Down and a lot of local Knoxville bands, metal bands, and it was actually a really good show. Down the hill they had a lot of cover bands and country bands and stuff, and there was just a really, really large group of musicians, you know, and anybody can dig that. The next show that we have that I can see is September 5th in Nashville, and the very next day we'll be in Madison, Alabama at 11 Frames. We'll be recording in Oneida on the 13th of August. That's what I've got here. And see, the 26th is in Chattanooga with American Legion. The 27th will be back here in Knoxville with American Legion also. We have two shows later on in October in Nashville also.
And what to you would be like, you know, the biggest difference from, you know, performing in, say, Knoxville from Nashville?
Well, I think
not much difference, but it's mostly the crowd.
Yeah, because, you know, Knoxville's where our fan base is. We play a show in Knoxville. We see a lot of friendly faces. We go out, you know, and we're just trying to, you know, get people. We're trying to reach people, you know, with it. So, yeah, it's a lot different, really. Whereas, you know, here you can always, you know, you've always got somebody that you know, and when you go out there, it's just you guys, you know, just the band, the group, and everyone else is, you know, just a potential fan.
So, how did it feel being, you know, at the World's Fair Park and playing with, you know, great bands like, you know, up and coming Omega Down and everything? And how did the crowd take, you know, your type of music compared to the rest that were on there?
People pretty well dig it. It's kind of neat how we get a good response. Because we'll be put on a metal venue and everybody's thrashing away and doing the heavy screamo, and then we'll come out with our stuff and it's, wow, what's that? You know, they kind of look at you kind of funny with arms crossed, and before you know it, they're banging their head and they're just throwing down with us. You know, I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool winning new fans just to see their reaction as we play, because it's so different. It's kind of cool, actually.
All right, and where do you get your lyrical content from? I mean, are you just out somewhere and you just witness something, or is this just experiences you've gone through, or friends, or
that's it really, experiences. I wrote a lot of the songs before I got in Minor Nine, got with this group, and we've accumulated quite a few since we've been together. Everyone contributes lyrics, actually. Everyone, has something to say. Majority of the material comes from either the bass player or myself. The bass player, Thad Presley, he's also a writer, and he's always writing, man. He's always got something. He's writing novels, he's writing short stories, he's writing songs, he's writing poems. I mean, the guy just doesn't stop. So, I mean, he's a fountain.
All right, and where did you all meet each other?
I've known the bass player for a number of years, since I was about 14 years old. And me and him had jammed quite a bit back in the day, just here and there, just guys playing around. I had met Rob through a friend of mine, Keith Klein. He's a local musician here, and he got us kind of hooked up. And I started taking guitar lessons from Rob, because the guy's just fucking killer guitar player. So it didn't really take long, man. And then we were just starting to we got into this cover band, just to do something, go out and play some shows, and started handing out an acoustic version of all my, I had like 10 songs recorded, just me, and the guys liked them so much they decided to quit playing covers, and they wanted to play my music. And so it was perfect, actually. And then some of those guys ended up falling out. One of them quit, and then that's when we got Fahey, our drummer, and got Thad Presley back on bass, and it was perfect, man. It works.
And how would you see that your band Minor Nine has matured since when you all started playing with each other?
Oh man,
music wise,
100 times better than what we were. I mean, that's just what you get. I mean, from the difference between playing in a garage and hanging out to actually playing like 90 shows in a year and a half. And plus practices in the middle. I mean, if you play that much with other people, you're bound to get tight, man. There's no way around it. You just shape up so much, and you start to kind of anticipate what everybody's doing, and you kind of get that feeling a lot easier. You know what I mean? That musical energy.
And when you have a day off, I know that you said you played 70 plus shows and everything. But when you have a day off, where could people see, Minor Nine? Are you all fishing, or I mean, what's your hobbies outside of music?
Well,
not much.
Yeah, really, we pretty well play all the time. We're either practicing or playing shows, pretty much.
Yeah,
ever since we started this band, really. Yeah, well, I got a day job, but once that's over, it's come home and play, work on stuff. We're always writing songs. We're just writing. We got probably 3 or 4 albums worth of stuff already. So that's our hobby, is the music, and it's been that way for the last 2 years. I had played in bands all the way through the 80s, done the whole Hollywood scene, and then I was in a couple of pretty well-known bands back in the day. And since then, we had a band that almost made it. It was so close. We were set to go on tour with Fishbone. We are going to do 48 states, go to Japan, go to Australia, do this. So I was packed, ready to go. We were all getting on the tour bus, and my singer and my drummer we had a female singer, and they were involved. And they broke up and hated each other all of a sudden, and it just blew the band apart. And ever since then, I said, "The heck with this noise," So I put it up. I hung it up in 1990. Hadn't even really played a guitar in 10 years, and then I met these guys just, a couple, 3, 4 years ago, and started it up again and dusted off the cobwebs, and here we go, So now it's been my new love. Other than that, I'll play with RC cars, and I teach karate and stuff like that on the side. But more than anything, it's the music.
So that had to suck. That had to royally suck to almost be able to tour everywhere, and then all of a sudden it just fell apart. Yeah. But that's just life.
Yeah, it was rough, man. I mean, that's what I said. I just said, the heck with this noise. This is bullshit. I don't put myself through that again ever, but here I am doing it, and so far this is the best group of guys. I've been in a lot of bands. I got to tell you, the friction that usually happens in the bands hasn't even come close on this band. Everybody gets along so well. It's kind of scary, waiting for the other shoe to drop, but as far as it goes, as far as we're going, and the way the stuff's coming out, the way the music sounds, You know, we're